This compact display gave my modular Airbus setup the instruments it was missing, without forcing me to build a full-size A320 cockpit. This is SimWorkShop SW instrument display set. It puts PFD, navigation display, and ECAM directly beneath my physical FCU and EFIS in one purpose-built unit. It is smaller than the typical displays used in permanent cockpit builds, but that is exactly what it makes it ideal for me. My simulator setup is modular. I can fly an Airbus, swap the hardware, and convert the same desk into a Boeing setup. I get the immersion of physical cockpit controls without permanently committing entire simulator to one aircraft. But does this purpose-built display offer enough value over adapting a regular monitor? And how much work does it actually take to set up? I tested it with the Fenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 through a complete flight and live streams, using both included SimWorkShop software and GlassOut. Welcome back to Flight Streamer, where I bridge the gap between real-world flying and flight simulation. Now, before we continue, I wanted to ask you for a quick favor. Only 20% of the people watching my videos are actually subscribed. If you enjoy flight simulation hardware, cockpit builds, and dedicated product reviews like this one, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps me bring more reviews like these. Now, before adding this display, I already had Cockpit Simulator FCU and EFIS. What I needed was a compact instrument display that could sit directly beneath them and complete the Airbus setup without becoming a permanent installation. That last part was important. When I want to fly an Airbus, I can place Airbus hardware on my desk. When I want to fly Boeing, I can remove it and swap the appropriate controls. I am not building one fixed cockpit. I am creating different physical layouts around the aircraft I want to fly. A generic monitor could perform the basic job, but I would still need to mount it, position the instruments, cover the unused screen area, manage the cables, and make everything fit together. The SimWorkShop display combines these pieces into one compact product. Now let's open the box and take a closer look. Inside, you get a USB-C cable, a mini HDMI adapter, an HDMI cable, and the display unit itself with desktop stand already attached. The screen is a custom 14.1-inch ultra-wide display with resolution of 1920 by 550. Its shape provides dedicated areas for three instruments: PFD, navigation display, and ECAM, with very little unused screen space. This particular unit has an Airbus A320 front panel design, so each instrument sits behind a physical opening instead of looking like three windows placed on a regular monitor. The complete unit weighs approximately half a kilogram. Its stand uses a damped hinge, allowing me to adjust the viewing angle, keeping it in position. It also supports 75 by 75 and 100 by 100 VESA mounting if you prefer a monitor arm or a more permanent installation. According to SimWorkShop, the front panel uses industrial SLA printing and engineering-grade resin. The frame uses aluminum extrusion, while the rear structure is laser cut, welded, and powder coated. Both connections exit through the back, which helps keep the visible sides clean. The compact dimensions turned out to be a great match for my existing hardware. Display fits directly beneath my Cockpit Simulator FCU and EFIS stand. Together, they create a connected Airbus instrument stack that still fits on my desk. As I mentioned, I don't need a cockpit shell, a custom instrument panel, or a permanent installation. When I want to switch from Airbus to Boeing, I can remove the Airbus hardware and replace it with my Boeing controls. That flexibility is one of the most important parts of my entire setup. But the physical fit would mean very little if I had to rebuild the screen layout before every flight. USB-C supplies power, while HDMI carries the video signal through the mini HDMI adapter. And once connected, Windows recognizes the unit as another display. I then launched the instrument display software included by SimWorkShop. It manages the instrument pop-outs, aircraft profiles, positioning, and screen mapping. I map PFD, navigation display, and ECAM easily to the correct openings and saved the layout. This was one of my favorite parts of the product. I connected the display, mapped the instruments, and was ready to fly within minutes. That convenience is one of the main advantages over creating my own solution with a generic screen. I tested display with Fenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. During an engine startup, I can keep the engine parameters and aircraft systems visible on the physical ECAM while using the rest of my controls. I don't need to move the virtual camera towards the instruments or place additional windows over the simulator. My main monitor can remain focused on the cockpit. There's also a useful benefit during my live streams. I often switch to an external view during cruise, so viewers can see the aircraft, weather, and scenery. The problem is that doing this removes the virtual cockpit instruments from my main monitor. With this display, PFD, navigation display, and ECAM remain directly in front of me. I can keep the external view on the main screen while continuing to monitor the aircraft. I don't need to interrupt the view and return to virtual cockpit every time I want to check something. It's not the main reason to buy this display, but is a practical benefit that became genuinely useful during my flights. The broader advantage is having the essential instruments in a fixed physical location while keeping the main monitor available for the flight simulator. SimWorkShop also offers A320, 737, and 777 front panel designs. The differences are cosmetic. The internal display is not restricted to the aircraft shown on the panel. So basically, you're choosing a physical appearance that best matches your preferred cockpit, not locking the display hardware type to one aircraft. That is particularly useful for a modular simulator. This particular unit is an A320 design because it complements my Airbus FCU and EFIS, but the screen can still display instruments from other supported aircraft when I change my setup. SimWorkshop lists compatibility with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, 2024, X-Plane 11, and 12. So for this review, I can personally confirm my testing with Fenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 using both the included SimWorkshop software and GlassOut. So, does this make more sense than adopting a regular monitor? If you enjoy fabricating your own panel, or you're building a permanent full-size cockpit, a larger custom solution may suit you better. But I wanted the PFD, navigation display, and ECAM on a compact, physical screen that works with my existing FCU and EFIS. I also needed the flexibility to remove the complete Airbus setup and replace it with Boeing hardware whenever I wanted to fly something different. And for that purpose, this display fits my simulator extremely well. It was quick to connect and map, it remains easy to move, it keeps the ECAM visible during engine startup, leaves my main monitor free for the simulator, and gives the essential instruments a fixed physical location throughout the flight. During live streams, I can also use an external view while continuing to monitor the aircraft from physical display. That is a real value to me. More physical Airbus immersion without sacrificing the flexibility that allows my simulator to switch between Airbus, Boeing, and other aircraft. Now, if you're interested in SW Instrument Display or another SimWorkshop product, I have a special discount link in the description and a pinned comment. So, would you choose a compact modular simulator that can switch between different aircraft, or would you rather build one permanent full-size cockpit? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, fly smart, fly safe, and keep chasing the horizons.